Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Thursday, September 25th, 2014. You can follow us on Twitter at CATEX TV. The airstrikes against ISIS continue. This time they've struck at oil wells that ISIS has captured in the western part of the Syrian desert that they're using to produce revenue, approximately $2 or $3 million a day in revenue. The airstrikes disabled those oil wells. Also yesterday, graphic footage appeared on the internet of a French hostage who was beheaded. The French President Hollande indicated that this is going to cause him to rethink his decision to not involve himself more deeply with the allied or coalition attacks on ISIS, so this will not work to their advantage. The Lloyd's numbers came out for the first 6 months of the year, and they were staggering. They recorded a profit of £1.67 billion for the first 6 months of the year, obviously in very difficult market conditions. They're a significant improvement over the same period last year. In the first 6 months of 2014, Lloyd's posted a combined ratio of about 88% compared with about 87% in the same time last year. But they indicated a return on capital of 16.5%. Investment income improved to £642 million compared with only £247 million for the same period last year. So whatever they're investing in, it's pretty darn good. It's very interesting because last week, of course, in Monte Carlo was the Lloyd's reception, and obviously John Nelson, Inga Beale, and Tom Bolt were well aware of the numbers at the time. I wonder they had big smiles on their faces at that time. Good for them. There was a preliminary magnitude earthquake of 6.2 in northern Argentina yesterday morning. The quake was very deep. It was about 100 miles below the surface. Fortunately, it struck in a remote mountainous region near the borders with Chile and Bolivia. There have been no reports of any damage or injuries. Florida state-backed insurer Citizens Property Insurance Corporation is ending policyholder assessments that are paying off the devastating 2004-2005 hurricane seasons 2 years early. The carrier said its board had unanimously voted for Citizens to stop collecting a 1% emergency assessment that began in 2007 to pay off a 10-year post-event bond with a total cost of $1.38 billion. The Citizens CFO said that the insurer expects to have sufficient resources in place by next June to satisfy the bond's balance. This is really amazing. You have the reinsurance prices just plummeting through the floor for cats, and now you have the major homeowners entity that's owned by the state of Florida, essentially, saying that they're not going to bother to collect the surcharge anymore. People have very short memories. Let's hope that, with fingers crossed, that there's not a similar event anytime soon. It would be a wise idea, I think, to begin to stockpile money. The Federal Insurance Office is going to ask for congressional permission early next year to negotiate a uniform reinsurance collateral agreement for American and European reinsurers that are domiciled in approved qualified jurisdictions. This is going to be a big move. It's supported by the National Association of Mutual Insurance Companies as well as the NAIC, and it'll be working with the Solvency II people in Europe as well. The massive wildfires in California, specifically the one that's threatening thousands of homes near Sacramento, the state capital, the King Fire, has now cost more than $53 million to fight since it began 2 weeks ago. It's the second most expensive blaze to fight in the state this year. Firefighters from as far away as Alaska and Florida have moved into California to help assist in the blaze battle. A fire at an ISCO steel plant in Burnpur in West Bengal, India today injured 30 people. The fire also provided a shutdown for the whole plant, which is a large producer in the area. A preliminary inquiry revealed that it happened at a coke oven battery at about 11 o'clock in the morning when the full shift was on board. If you own a Ferrari, you might want to be aware of this. A recall went out from the Italian car maker's office affecting F458 Italia and F458 Spider models. These are 200,000-pound cars. Apparently, if you're trapped in the trunk of that car, you wouldn't be able to get out because there's a fault in the secondary latch in the trunk. This means that, quote, according to the car maker, in the event an individual is trapped in the trunk and the latch system does not release the trunk lid, it increases the risk of personal injury or possibly death. However, the fault with the Ferrari's 500 horsepower car's trunk only occurs when the car is stationary. So, the car, which has a top speed of 200 miles per hour, would allow you to get out of the trunk when it's moving at that speed. Why anybody would be in the trunk, I don't know. Presumably only a captive. So this is something that perhaps should be posted somewhere in the event one's ever kidnapped by somebody driving a Ferrari. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.